guys, this is Paula Hopkins. I'm actually the Chief Energy Officer over at Chakra Zulu Crystals, and I am here today to talk to you about nothing other than crystals. So before we get started, this is going to be sort of a Crystal 101 video where we talk about the basics and how to cleanse, how to charge, any rituals, and how to really care for your crystals. So I'm not going to take up too much of your time today, just maybe 15 to 20 minutes. Get cozy, maybe grab some of your own crystals, pen and paper, maybe even a journal, and let's get started. I just want to start this video out by saying I hope that by the time we get to the end of this video, you feel a little more confident in handling your crystals, in caring for them, and have a better understanding of how they work and how you can incorporate them into your everyday life. So before we start chatting about crystals, I thought maybe it'd be a good idea for us to work on identifying a few of the more common ones. Number one, clear quartz. This is literally a powerhouse crystal. Really amazing, called a master healer because it does have the ability to align all 7 of your chakras. Not only that, I think the coolest thing about clear quartz is that it is able to hold intention. You can literally take a piece, does not have to be a cluster like this. It can be tumbled, it can be rough. You can take a piece like this, hold it, meditate with it, pray into it, chant into it, whatever your intention is, be it for peace, be it for healing, be it for prosperity, be it for protection. This has no limitations. Whatever your intention is, this crystal will hold it. You can then clear it, which we'll talk about when we get on to cleansing and charging crystals, and then you can start over again. So literally like many crystals in one. Don't sleep on clear quartz. Everybody needs a piece. All right, and so this next one is super common. Everybody knows what this is. It's amethyst, probably one of the more beautiful pieces. This is definitely like a grade A geo chunk. Everything I'm showing you here is definitely grade A and from my personal collection. As you can see, I kind of have a problem. So amethyst is really all about bringing peace to the user, really helping you dive into deep meditative states or deepening your meditative practice. Really soothing, very calming. It's also a mildly protective talisman as well. Right, so I feel like this is another one that like everybody knows, right? Rose quartz. And just by judging, you had to judge it, I think by the color, we all would say that this looks like love. Love, and you are completely and utterly right. Rose quartz is linked to your heart chakra, which is all about love and forgiveness and fostering trust and empathy. It's also a really good crystal to help the user work through grief if they've experienced any sort of loss. All right, so next up is citrine. And citrine is really good for inviting in happiness and joy, but it also helps the user to manifest. It helps to invite in success and prosperity at the same time. It also has a nickname of the merchant's stone, so really, really good for business owners. So if you work for yourself, if you freelance, or even if you have a traditional 9-to-5, but you want to invite more prosperity in your life, definitely citrine. Definitely citrine. Keep it in your workspace. If you happen to have, a small shop or a brick and mortar, keeping a piece of citrine inside your cash register or maybe beside it, super helpful in bringing in the money. And I won't get into naming too many, but we'll do a couple more. This next one is black tourmaline, and it is super duper protective. This is probably my #1 protection and grounding crystal. So if you don't get anything else, I feel like this is another like staple that you can have in a starter collection. And this, when worn on your left side, perhaps not a chunk this big, but tourmaline when worn on your left side helps to really seal your aura and sort of creates a blockage so that any negative energy can't really get through, it can't permeate. And another very common crystal is carnelian. This is a very deep red, but carnelian is actually an agate and is really good for vitality and creativity. So if you are having a case of writer's block, or if you really want to just give your creative endeavors a boost, this is also an amazing crystal for that. I don't like to discriminate with crystals, but probably the most important one, in my opinion, disclaimer, my personal opinion, is selenite. We probably have all heard of this. Its nickname is liquid light because it is really good for clearing stagnant energy, right? So I guess we'll probably segue into cleansing and clearing crystals now. So selenite is really good for cleansing and clearing stagnant energy, negative energy within rooms, within people, and even other crystals. So here I have sort of a flat selenite plate, if you will, and of course it's got a beautiful flower of life design on it. Yours does not have to have this. You could have a rough log of selenite if you wanted to. It all works the same. So to continue discussing selenite's cleansing and clearing properties, let's talk about how you would charge your crystals using selenite. So let's say you have some crystals, you've been wearing them all week, you've had sort of a rough week, and my goodness, your crystals need to be cleansed. Place them down like so on the plate. Grab a few of this. So that's my citrine, my tourmaline. This one here is amazonite. Really good for mitigating frustration. Very soothing. Just had to put that out there. And let's say selenite, right? Let's say you've had a hard day. You come home, you unload your crystals from your pockets. You can actually lay your crystals upon selenite. I like to say anywhere between 10 to 24 hours, and it will cleanse and charge them for you. So no need to utilize any kind of salt or salt water or smoke. You can, if you want to, as a secondary cleansing element, but you do not have to. Selenite literally will cleanse and charge anything, you included. Okay, so everybody could use a good night's sleep, right? Sometimes we all know 2020 has been crazy and sleep has definitely evaded us on a night or two. So one thing you can do to sort of assist yourself in getting a better night's sleep is placing selenite and blue calcite together, or lepidolite, any soothing crystal of your choice. But for ease of the video and what I have available, we are going to use selenite and blue calcite. You can actually tuck these under your pillow, and you can totally get smaller pieces. They don't have to be this size at all, but you can tuck these under your pillow, and these will definitely encourage peaceful sleep and sort of quiet the chatter that's going on in your mind. So to continue talking about cleansing your crystals, we have covered selenite here. Great, quiet, non-smelly way to cleanse and clear your crystals. Now, if you feel so called to use smoke, smoke is also a very safe way to cleanse and clear your crystals. You can use herbs such as, but totally not limited to, blue sage, cedar, mugwort. You can even utilize resins if you are familiar with resins like frankincense, myrrh, copal. And when it comes to cleansing your crystals with smoke, there's really no cut and dry time. You know what your crystal has been through, and cleansing your crystals should almost feel like a spiritual practice, if you will. And you'll feel when the crystal is clear, ready to be put back to use. Now let's talk about some other ways to cleanse. You can totally run your crystals under cold water to sort of rinse and reset them, but you do have to be really careful and ensure that your crystals are water safe. And as a bit of a cheat code, if your crystal ends in the suffix ite, I-T-E, 9 times out of 10 that crystal is not very water safe. So you just want to be really careful. Crystals that are definitely water safe are quartz, agates, chalcedonies, things like that. Another simple way to cleanse your crystals without using smoke, because let's face it, you might live in an apartment or a small space, or you might not be allowed to burn anything. So another way that you can cleanse your crystals is actually by using salt. You can get a plate, a bowl, or a tray with some maybe coarse grain pink Himalayan salt, and literally lay your crystals there just as you would with selenite. Or you can even take it a step further and combine selenite with the salt, and then go ahead and place your crystals there overnight or even for a day or two to let them recharge and reset. So let's talk about using your crystals with the energy of the moon. Full moons are an amazing time to charge your crystals. You can do a few things with them. You can place them on your windowsill, whichever windowsill is going to get the most moonlight in. You can place them there and let them soak up the energy of the moon that first night, and even the second or third night as well, because full moon energy kind of permeates for a few days. It's not just this one small window that you have. If you're adventurous and you know that they're going to be safe, you can actually place them outside. If you have a safe space for them, you can place them outside. If you've got a patio or a covered lanai, that's totally fine. Let's say in a basket or something to soak up the moonlight directly. Or if you want to take it one more step further, you can actually bury your crystals outside. You can grab a mason jar or even a burlap sack and kind of dig. You don't have to dig too deep. You do not have to cover your crystals completely so that you have to go on a scavenger hunt when you're ready to dig them up. But you can bury them partially so that you can still see whatever they're in. Bury them partially so that they get the energy of grounding from the earth, but also moonlight. So like that's a win-win there. That's something else you can do. But at the very least, your crystals will definitely soak up full moon energy by being placed on your windowsill. So another cool tip or trick that you can do to harness sort of the full moon energy and the power of your crystals is make moon water. And to make moon water, what I personally like to do is place the crystal inside of a jar. Go ahead, speak my intentions into it, and even if you write an intention out, you can write that out, place it under your jar, and just like when charging crystals on your windowsill, you can place that there, cover it so no debris gets into it, and you can allow it to soak up the moonlight. Or you can take it outside as well, still covered, place it outside. Or if you feel like it, you can totally partially bury it just for it to get the energy of the earth and grounding simultaneously with absorbing the full moon's rays. Now, another disclaimer that I have to say is that if you are making moon elixir or moon water to drink, you want to be very, very, very careful. Just like all crystals are not safe for water, not all are safe for our consumption. So I suggest, as a rule of thumb, only using quartz in gem elixirs or moon water. And the safest of them all that we definitely know can be used, clear quartz, for certain, without a doubt. So definitely do your research, take precaution when it comes to making these, because not all crystals are meant for our consumption. And then once you have allowed your moon water or gem elixir to charge, you can bring it back in, you remove the crystal. We're not drinking crystals here. That would be a huge choking hazard. No, 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 no. No. We don't want to do that. That'd be a huge choking hazard. Remove your crystal, and you can store it for later use or put it to use however you desire. So let's say you want to use moon water for a spiritual bath, right? Let's say that you've set an intention around your bath and your moon water for self-love, right? So you got your bath going, it's looking really good. You've got your sea salt, you've got your Epsom salt. You may have added some flower petals, rose petals, essential oils, and your moon water. You can then actually take it a step further and add a crystal to your bath to charge your bath water. Yes, absolutely you can do this. But always keeping in mind, not all crystals are safe for water. Quartz varieties, yes. Anything that ends in ITE, not so much. So rose quartz, amethyst, clear quartz, citrine, those are definitely safe. You just want to make sure you're doing your own research before you submerge that crystal in water. But yes, crystals can be added to baths to enhance your intention. Yes, yes, yes. And another tip that you might not know about is that you can actually add crystals to your houseplants. And I definitely have a few pothos and snake plants with crystals in the soil, and they are happy plants. Another simple ritual you can do is house gridding. You might think, what the heck is that? Super simple. It's placing crystals like tourmaline that are grounding and very protective in conjunction with crystals like clear quartz or selenite into the four corners of your home, really helping to facilitate clean and clear energy while also keeping the premises protected. One of the easiest ways to use crystals is to keep them on you throughout the course of a day. Small crystals are great for pockets, and keeping crystals on your left side, definitely protective crystals on your left side, is a bonus. Your left side is where we receive energy at. So let's say you're on your way to work, you're getting to the office, and the person that sits next to you is having a bad day, and bad energy tends to get transferred rather easily. You stand a better chance at repelling that energy by keeping a protective crystal on your left side, such as black tourmaline or labradorite. One amazing self-care ritual with crystals is to actually body grid, kind of like house gridding, but you're placing crystals on you. Now, you can intuitively choose your crystal and place it where you feel you need it most, or you can follow your chakra points and place crystals there like that. I like to put on a good meditative track, light some incense, maybe get a diffuser going, dim the lighting, lay down, and slowly begin to place the crystals where I feel I need them most, where I'm feeling the most tension or the most anxiety. And this works like a charm every time, because usually after about 10 to 15 minutes, I've nodded off into a nap or into sleep for the night. There are literally an infinite amount of ways to use crystals. So that's my Crystal 101 for you, and I really hope that this video helped you gain a better understanding of your crystals and ways that you can utilize them in your everyday life and on the full moon. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys.